The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has announced the former River State Governor Rotimi Amechi as a running mate to his presidential candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, for the 2027 general elections. They said that the decision followed extensive consultations with party leaders, coalition partners, youth and women stakeholders, and representatives of all geopolitical zones. The national leadership of the ADC says this is the right way for the party and a winning formula that will get the party into the Aso Rock Villa. But there is a bad news, actually, for 5 political parties, with Justice Peter Lifu of the Federal High Court today ordering the deregistration of African Democratic Congress, ADC, and 4 other political parties over failure to meet the constitutional requirements for political parties in the country. In a judgment, Justice Lifu today ordered the INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, to deregister the affected parties, having failed to secure 25% of the vote in the last general elections in compliance with the provisions of the law. The 5 political parties include the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Accord Party, Action Alliance, Action People's Party, APP, and ZLP, the Zenith Labour Party. Justice Lifu, who earlier dismissed all the multiple preliminary objections filed by the defendant, ordered INEC not to allow the parties to participate in the subsequent elections, including the 2027 general polls, having failed to meet the constitutional threshold. But we're getting some reactions from some of the political parties involved. The Kenneth Udeze-led Action Alliance has rejected the court judgment ordering the deregistration of the 5 political parties. In a statement signed by the chairman, the party says that the judgment is coming at a time when political mobilization and preparations for the 2027 elections are already active. According to him, while AA respects the judiciary and the rule of law, he believes the timing and effect of this judgment will raise serious questions about democratic inclusion and the integrity of the electoral process. Let's move the conversation forward and let us speak now to the national spokesperson of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, to get the official response of that party with respect to the judgment of Justice Lifu's court in Abuja today. I'm being joined by Madam Bolaji Abdullah, who is the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. Many thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Yeah. Good evening. First and foremost, let's confirm, it's authentic, right, that Rotimi Amechi is the running mate to Atiku Abubakar?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is confirmed.
Yeah. And has he accepted that offer?
You should expect that a lot of conversation will have happened. So if there's going to be any chances that this kind of question will arise, we wouldn't announce. So the fact that we've gone ahead to announce officially as a party means that all questions have been answered.
Would there be any kind of formal presentation to the world, or this will suffice and you are moving forward?
No, there's going to be a big event to actually present our 2 candidates sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's interesting though. But and your party thinks that that pairing is a formidable one?
I mean, we believe so, because let me say first and foremost that we believe that anybody that was running as aspirants on the platform of ADC, whether it's Atiku Abubakar or Rotimi Amechi or Muhammadu Hayatuddin, will do far better than what President Bola Tinubu is doing. Now, having established that, we believe that the emergence of Atiku Abubakar and Rotimi Amechi as our presidential and vice presidential candidate actually gives us a formidable team that is immensely capable of winning this election. So, and we are not surprised with the kind of shenanigans that is cropping up the moment we announced Rotimi Amechi as our vice presidential candidate.
So, in the real sense of it, and I'm wondering what Babachi Lawa will be thinking now, because he has written off your party. He said, with Atiku Abubakar as your candidate, the party is headed for a disaster.
Well, you will notice that the party has refrained from joining issues with Babachi Lawa, and personally I have a lot of respect for him. But I think the issues he was raising and what he was saying actually says more about the historical animosity that he has against our presidential candidate rather than the primaries of the African Democratic Congress as an exercise or our political party as the African itself. So, I mean, I wouldn't put too much credence to that. I mean, we felt that it was a local issue that they had. I mean, they're from the same Adamawa state, you know. So we are very proud of the exercise that we have conducted, and we're very proud of the fact that we are the only political party in Nigeria who actually conducted real primaries to produce our presidential candidate.
And so you are not yielding to the warnings because he's warning vehemently.
No, he's free to say whatever he wants to say. I mean, people can advise you based on where they are standing, but it doesn't mean that you are obliged to listen to them or pay attention to what they are saying, with due respect.
Let's go to the matter, the substantive matter of this evening. How does this come to the ADC? Officially speaking, how is your party reacting to it?
Honestly, I must say that we are a bit surprised. And what surprised us is that we know the judiciary as an institution has problems. And we know that the Nigerian people more or less believe that there is a problem with the judiciary. But what we did not expect, and this is where the surprise comes in, what we did not expect is the level of judicial rascality that was demonstrated today. Because when a court of appeal say stay process until October 27, then the same matter on which the court of appeal say you should stay process, and you are aware that the court of appeal say you should stay process, then you went ahead and made and delivered judgment on the same matter. I mean, I would have said it's ridiculous, but it is actually bizarre and dangerous. But what is clear is that the judge, the presiding judge, was not just practicing law or dispensing justice. He was acting a script that was written for him by the agents of the ruling party and the APC and the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, we've repeatedly maintained that what the ruling party wants is a situation where by the time we arrive in 2027, President Bola Tinubu is the only one who is able to contest election, and every other person will have been eliminated. This is the clearest manifestation of that agenda, which is unfortunate. So what we are saying is we reject it in its totality, and we say that the people behind this are playing with fire, because what they are playing at is to generate the kind of crisis that Nigeria has not seen in a long time. And why do I say that? Hundreds, if not thousands of people have obtained nomination forms and contested elections and emerged as the candidates on the platform of the African Democratic Congress. So what do you expect? That they will roll over and die because this kind of product?
When you say they're playing with fire, that sounds like a threat.
I mean, if you read it as
who is this directed to?
If you read it as a threat, I mean, maybe you are correct, but it's a warning more than any other thing. Right? You will expect that these people who are busy demonstrating or celebrating democracy, June 12, will not be busy creating their own justice Basi Ekpeme in 2026. I mean, what ranking hypocrisy? You know, that you will on one side just a few days ago saying that you are celebrating democracy, and a few days later you are actually engineering a process that will truncate democracy, because what they are doing is capable of truncating democracy. But we are saying that no matter what they do, ADC will contest the 2027 election. As long as there will be election in 2027, ADC will contest, because this is illegal.
Yeah. So who are you directing these at the judiciary? Who do you think? And you are inferring as though that some people who are behind this.
No, it's not a question of inference, Sheil. The person, the individual who is championing this works in the office of the chief of staff to the president.
Really?
Yeah, of course, everyone knows that.
Who is the person?
Oh, I can't remember his name. He's from Southeast. I can't remember his name. He was a former member of the House of Representatives.
So you found out that he's
yes. No, his name is there. They are not hiding, right? That is one. Two, in that matter, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice was the second defendant. But a few days ago, he emerged as a plaintiff. What absurdity. in a case that you are a defendant, then suddenly you woke up, then the question that we're asking is, what is the injury that these individuals who call themselves former legislative forum, what injuries will they suffer if ADC and these other parties contest election in 2027? Apart from, of course, maybe the breakfast they are enjoying will come to an end. But the most important thing we are saying is that I've been advised by lawyers that if there are no injuries, there will be no redress. So on what basis is Justice Lifu awarding them this? And especially when it is clear, what the constitutional provision is very clear about what minimum standards you expect the political parties to meet to be able to contest election. And in addition to that, you will recall that INEC itself sent an affidavit, to the same Federal High Court, saying the African Democratic Congress has met all constitutional requirements for registration. The African Democratic Congress has met all electoral requirements for registration. So on what basis are they taking this decision, other than the fact that they want to eliminate all possible contenders against President Bola Tinubu in 2027? But it will not work.
You look at it, legally speaking, there are those who will say ADC is dead.
How? Dead how?
I mean, because if the registration order goes forward and there are substantive, direct, and implication to what the court said today, do not allow them participate in the next election.
Have you read the requirement?
For
because 225A of the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999.
They said you did not meet 25% according to the court order, because that is the order of court. If you are going to appeal it yet, but let's look at the substance in the matter.
We will appeal it, but what we are saying is that looking at what the Constitution says, and I have it in front of me, ADC is on solid ground, and it's on that basis that the INEC says ADC is not involved. It cannot be deregistered on the basis of whether constitutional requirement or in the basis of electoral performance requirement. So where is the judge pulling this out from? But this is a judge that has a reputation, I mean, with due respect. So what is very clear, that it is more of a political agenda than justice being served. So, and that's why we are saying that it will not stand. Nigeria, we are not a conquered people, and this is democracy. This is not some banana republic. So President has been Nigeria before President Bola Tinubu, and there will be Nigeria after him. So ADC will contest 2027 election.
But the argument right here, have you been able to introspect what was the performance of your party in the last election? Because this is what the court is contending.
No.
Do you have facts to counter the court's position to say you truly, because you are not the only one that is going to be affected. Yes. Your party is not the only party. Did you meet the 25% threshold as required or as stated by the court?
That's what I was.
Do you have? Can you list
what I was telling you?
Yeah. Can you list?
And I expect if it's possible for you to put this on the screen for Nigerians to see. It's talked about the 25%, right? 25% threshold. He now said, now let me read it to you. He said, breach of any of the requirements for registration. He said, the independent commissioner shall have power to deregister a political party for breach of any of the requirements for registration. That is A. B, he now said, failure to win at least 25% of votes cast in one state of the federation in a presidential election, or one local government of the state in a governorship election. That is an or. He now said, failure to win at least one ward in chairmanship election, one seat in the National or State House of Assembly election, or one seat in the councilorship election. If you are able to meet only one of this, then you have met the electoral requirement. That is very clear, because it is disjunctive, right? If you meet any of this, you've met. And ADC has at least 2 members of the House of Representatives. If you don't know anyone, you know Abejide that just left for APC. ADC still has the certificate of returns. The fact that he has led the party does not mean that ADC did not win the election in the last election. So the whole of this doesn't make sense. But that shows you the extent that people are going to manipulate the law to achieve political ends, and which is tragic.
Because you, and I know legally speaking, you will push to appeal this matter for the court to upturn it.
Exactly.
But isn't these a spanner in the works for you? Doesn't these now hold you back? Because legally speaking, you are not inexistent in the eye of the law. And by the virtue of this judgment, what INEC would do is to go ahead and remove your name from the list.
That is not true.
And that is based on this. Yes. Except if you appeal. That's what I'm saying.
Appeal. Yeah,
I'm saying legally speaking, when a court makes a decision and makes an order, a judgment of court, it stands until it is upturned by an appellate court. Yeah, until by an appellate court.
Yes. Now, but what you are ignoring is the fact that there is a call of appeal order that says don't hear this case
until October.
Until October 27. So on what basis you cannot place illegality on you can't place this on anything? So you are a lawyer, you should know that.
You think Justice Lifu's court is playing games with you because you are saying that
he is running in contempt of the court. Justice Lifu should be arrested because he's acting in contempt of the court, which is a criminal act. Because the Court of Appeal says, don't act on this until I hear it on October 27. So on what basis did he deliver the judgment? So for us in the African Democratic Congress, what we are convinced that they know that what they have done has no leg to stand on, legally. But what they want to do is to create doubts in the mind of the people. Oh, this ADC has too many legal cases. Oh, can we actually run on this? And to distract us. But we are not distracted. We are very clear. It was in spite of all that they have done since ADC come on board that we ran one of the best and the most comprehensive direct primaries in the history of democracy in Nigeria. So we know how to, we have been birthed in adversity. We are strong enough to withstand this. And that's why I'm saying we are going to contest the 2027. We are ADC. We don't buckle. We don't buckle before dictatorship.
If there are chances of ADC winning this election, don't you think that these has lessened or weakened that opportunity or possibility?
No, not at all, because the people who are supporting it, I was watching a TV program some days ago, and one of the analysts said, we don't know what ADC is doing. In spite of all these legal issues, many people are still joining the ADC. The record is very clear. More people have joined our party since INEC took the last election. I have no doubt in my mind that this judgment today will make people to say, hang on, why is this government so morbidly afraid of the African Democratic Congress? Why are they trying by all means to stop the African Democratic Congress? It can only go one way for us.
What would would the ADC accept if, for example, the Supreme Court, at the end of the day, which is the last court on this kind of matter in the land, if they uphold the decision of Justice Lifu's court?
You see, Sheil, by now you should know. This is not the first time I'm appearing on this program. I will not answer a hypothetical question.
Oh, you should have a plan. You should have a plan.
Why should I tell you?
You should have a plan.
I don't want to tell you.
Or you don't have a plan.
I don't want to tell you.
Because
you see, when INEC deregistered David Mark, I was here. I said, oh, what's your plan? You don't have a plan. But you saw what happened, right? So this one, we will ride it too. And we will come out stronger at the end of the day. We are fighting for the very soul of democracy in Nigeria. You see, when President Bola Tinubu sent soldiers to go and help the president of Benin Republic to restore him to power, people said, oh, President Tinubu is a patron or godfather. No, I said no. President Tinubu is actually the student of the president of the republic, because everything that he did in this country is what President Tinubu is trying to do in Nigeria. But Nigerians will show him that this is not Benin Republic. This is the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
There are those who say, okay, if the law is very clear on this matter, why should ADC receive any special treatment? Are you saying that all of the political parties involved or ADC's case is clear?
And I can only speak for the African Democratic Congress. I cannot speak for their political parties. And what I'm saying is that I'm anchoring I'm anchoring the position of the ADC on the fact that the Constitution confers the power to register and deregister only on INEC. And INEC has come out to depose to an affidavit to say African Democratic Congress does not fall in the categories of parties that will be deregistered, either for not meeting constitutional requirement or for not meeting electoral requirement. What more is there to say?
So the ultimate implication of this is that ADC may not be on the ballot if this is allowed to stand.
ADC will be on the ballot.
No, I'm saying... I'm
not talking about whether...
You're talking about faith and what you believe. I'm saying, legally speaking, if this stands, that means that ADC and his aspirants or candidates will not be on the ballot.
It will not stand. I can assure you it will not stand. ADC will be on the ballot. If there's going to be election in 2027, ADC will contest election in 2027 in this country.
Give me a moment. There's a breaking news right here on Channels Television. Troops, the Nigerian military, have rescued the widow of late Major General Rabi Abubakar. Troops of the Nigerian Army's 17th Brigade have rescued Mrs. Abubakar, the widow of the late Major General Rabi Abubakar, who was abducted by bandits shortly before the retired senior military officer died in captivity. Military sources are telling Channels Television that the rescue operation took place in Tunga village, where troops made contact with the armed bandits. During the encounter, the kidnappers reportedly shot Mrs. Abubakar before fleeing the scene under pressure from advancing soldiers. Troops immediately secured the areas, rescued her, and administered emergency force aid. The military says Mrs. Abubakar sustained gunshot injuries and was bleeding at the time of the rescue, but it is now receiving medical attention. The development comes just days after the burial of the late Major General Rabi Abubakar, whose death in captivity sparked national outrage and renewed concerns over insecurity across parts of the country. Breaking news right here on Channels Television. Widow of late Major General Rabi Abubakar, who died in captivity after being abducted by bandits, himself and the wife. The widow has now been rescued by troops of the Nigerian Army's 17th Brigade. That's much we know about this matter. All right, let's also look at what this means going into 2027. Does this give you a signal? If your party, Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amaechi, are on the ballot, does it give you a signal of how intense this race could be?
Well, it could be, but I think the story you just read now is actually disheartening, and it relegates every other thing, you know, because the husband died in captivity, and then the wife is shot. I pray for her that she recovers by the grace of Almighty Allah, and may God grant her husband Al-Jannah. So this is the kind of situation we are talking about. You see, if we are talking about rescuing the country, today Nigeria is in captivity. And this is why when military generals continue to die in kidnappers' den, I mean, what else is there to say? So if you say on the basis of this, the election in 2027 will be fierce, I will agree with you, it will be fierce, because the people who are holding on to power will not want to give up. But Nigerians are determined that enough of this bloodshed. Nigeria today, our land is flowing with blood. Innocent people are being killed, and the children in Oyo State are still in captivity. And what you see is that these people in government, they don't care. They don't care. I mean, I was watching the video of the first lady sharing cars to women and celebrate. So you ask yourself, who are these people? Who are these people? Do they know what Nigerians are going through? Or do they think that we are a conquered people, we have no choice? Once you truncate the African Democratic Congress, you deregister all the Accord Party, you discard whatever, then and you are the only man standing, then you ride into power in 2020. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, because what we are fighting for is the very soul of Nigeria.
Mr. Abdullahi, on a final note, what would be your immediate action on this matter?
No, we'll go to court. We'll go to court to appeal this rascality.
That's what they want to say when they say go to court.
No, we will go to court. You see, we have an abiding confidence in judiciary as an institution, regardless of the behavior of some judges who just do whatever they like for whatever reason. And we will escalate it all over the world. And we will fight for this. And we'll make sure that it is done. We will do whatever it will take within the boundaries of the law to make sure that this rascality does not stand.
Thanks so much indeed, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, for your time tonight. And I wish you and your party not the best of time to run a party, preparing for election, going to court, battling all of these crimes.
But we are not distracted. We are used to it. The good thing is we started with it. So this is just another one. You know, we have perfected the art of moving on while we deal with this. So it's not a distraction for the ADC.
Thanks so much indeed. I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.